maybe if other people join us, then if not, we can chat.
Yeah.
What is going on? What happened?
I don't know. I think so. From what I understand, like Slade just messaged Brady immediately after the comp and was like, "Don't worry, I'm not nominating you." And then like this day goes by of conversations and stuff that Slade's having with everybody. And I guess, I have no idea who, but I guess people told Brady that Slade would nominate both noms from our team. And so Brady like deduced that, uh, it was going to, and that triggered him, I think, because he was like, how are you going to nom me after you said you wouldn't?
You cut out. You said Brady deduced that what?
That it would be him ultimately, like one of the noms would be him.
Okay.
And he was like, how would you tell me that it wouldn't be me and now it is? And then their call went really sour, I think Slade said. And but also I think like Slade's just been mentioning to a couple of people that he really likes you, or like I love her, or I really like her. So you have a certain amount of number of people on our team, and he is not going to nom Macy again, is what she said. And he loves you. And so he's going to put up Brady and like probably me, is what I'm guessing. So
I got a different understanding. Not that he didn't love me. I definitely got that. But I gathered that he told people that he told me the same thing he told everybody else. Like, I'm not making any guarantees. Well, at least he told everybody that he wasn't making any guarantees about anybody's safety.
right.
And guaranteeing anybody that they wouldn't be nominated, right? Like, so he told me that too. But he did tell me that he was like saying that, obviously the past two HOHs have like try to do like the like least like kind of like rocky thing or whatever for the house and nominate people who like if possible that wouldn't like shake things up too much. And so we talked about that. And so like for me at least, and I don't know if maybe it's because of my team and he knows I'm like super team loyal. He talked about Sim and asked me my thoughts on Sim and like if I had like a good relationship with Sim or anything like that. And he was like, so that would be like one that's from their team. And he was like, I know that that's one that people I think wouldn't be upset about if I nominated him. What do you think? And I was like, no, yeah, that's probably a fair assessment. He was like, but I'm not saying who my nomination are. He's like, I have no idea. Like to me, and I trust him and I believe him when he says, he was like, I have no idea.
I agree, yeah.
Everybody, like where I'm gonna go. And he was like, I'd like to hear your opinion on like just how, like just where, like which way I should go with it. And I was like, I totally get the idea of not like rocking the boat. I was like, but at the same time, you also have to protect yourself and think about your team. And I was like, I would love for you to think about my team in this and the fact that our two teams haven't won anything. And so that's why I was like trying to push him toward.
And that's like what I told him too. I was like, because he said there's a perception that Team Blue is so loyal, like go Team Blue, and that y'all are gonna stick together no matter what. And I'm like, honestly, that's a fair perception because we had to fight for somebody on the block 2 times in a row. But Team Magenta hasn't had to do that at all. They've been safe this whole time. And they haven't had to campaign. They haven't had to show how loyal they are to each other. So I just try to stress that fact. Like, it's fair. You have to pick 2 people and you can't pick anyone from your team. So why does Team Magenta get another pass? Why did they get a pass a third time?
Right. My thing was like their strength and the fact that like if they're winning and they're continuing to be immune, then that only targets, and they keep doing the whole one from each team, then we're going to have the same thing. Their team, our team.
Yeah.
Going to be up again. I was like, if you only have 3 people up in your team, that puts you in jeopardy. That's like the closer way for you to be in jeopardy or whatever. I was like, so it's a good idea to like not have it be anybody from either of our teams. I was like, but obviously I can't tell you what to do. But, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just being candid. I was like, clearly, you know me, I'm just straightforward. I was like, I'm not telling you, like, I was like, I have nobody on that team that I have anything negative to say about. So I was like,
yeah,
throw any particular name out from their team and be like,
I didn't either, but I'm just like,
because I like everybody in our house. I was like, whether it's my team, your team, their team, I was like, I like everybody in the house. So it's hard for me to be like, do them. I was like, at the same time, I think if you think about it in terms of how to preserve your, and I was telling them how to preserve your game, I was like, that team is the one who's winning, it seems, and winning a lot.
Absolutely.
That's to stabilize that and get one of those people. Hey, Mace, to get people, at least one, if not two, of those people on the block. Whether even if it is Sim, you know what I mean? Like just so they can have one less number. And his
now, I mean, especially now, it
was like as far as Sim versus one of the other people. His thing was if he went for that team, he would want to go for somebody else because he feels as though the other people are the ones winning and Sim isn't winning. So if he's gonna like go for their team, he'd rather take a shot at somebody who's winning and like actually take a shot at somebody who's like, well, that's not his, that wasn't his words, but like, he was like, well, Sim isn't really winning. So like,
so I brought up the idea to Slade, like this other team, like, I mean, and I just like butted into the end of y'all's, like the middle of y'all's conversation. So y'all might have already talked about this, but I was like, so they're the ones that have knocked your team out. I'm like, I don't really like get why you wouldn't at least like try to like attack their team too. And Slade said to me, he was like, well, they're not trying to protect like each other and y'all are trying to protect each other. So that really worries me.
We don't know that they're not trying to protect each other. We haven't had to see it yet.
We haven't had.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know why like there was this whole blow up though. I'm like, even if like there's this fear, there's two people from our team, there's time to like still talk that through. Like nominations aren't until Monday. But that's what I was gonna tell you, Tosh. Like the whole Slade liking me thing. So like Slade told me that because I was like, if people don't want to rock the boat and you're going, because he was like, trying to figure out like what the house is like wants. He was like, so I'm talking to everybody. He was like, because I don't want to be like, he doesn't want to go too far for what the house wants. And I was like, well, if that's the case, then the house is probably going to tell you like me and Sim, because I was afraid that I was like probably like a backdoor last week. And I think a lot of people don't like me. He was like, oh, well, no. He was like, because I told everybody that I liked you, whatever. And I was like, oh, great. So they're not going to tell you the truth. So now I won't even know if people want me on the block. I was like, I would love to have known that. And I was like, so they probably do want me up because now they know that you like me. And I was like, that doesn't help me. And he was like, oh, that's true. He's like, because I've legit told everybody from the jump they can't say your name. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's helpful.
And I think that's the only, I mean, from just an outsider's perspective, that's why
but I also don't
Brady's popping off.
Like, that could also be a disguise, right? That could be like, Keisha, you're the pawn. I'm going to put you up next to somebody I want to go home. Like,
well, Jess just messaged me that he told her it was going to be me and Brady. So I think she talked to him.
That's ridiculous. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it legit doesn't make any sense for their team.
At all. At all. It does not make sense.
I'll talk to Eric.
And especially
I don't think he like talks to Becky, so I don't think it would help talk to her. But I think he talks to Eric.
Yeah, and Becky picked my puzzle, so she's probably one who's like campaigning to get me up, No,
I don't think so. I think she's worried that you are mad at her. That's
Michael is the target.
She was like so worried that you were upset with her. So you guys should probably talk just so you can like mend fences on the off chance you are on the block, so you can like be good when it happens.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely try to talk to like Eric and him because I feel like Eric can like get in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
If it's me, just me, you know what I mean? If it's just me. But like another one of his teammates talking to him might help.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it just didn't help because their team didn't stick together. And I think he's just probably upset about that.
Yeah.
But don't take it out on our team. It's not our fault. Dang it. And Michael doesn't need to take it out on me, and he needs to get on this call.
I don't.
I'm confused about that.
Well, I'm not now. Like what? Because I wasn't sure if what Slade told me was true, but if like based on what
that's definitely it. I mean,
like he's telling everybody, oh,
exactly. He's like, I love Keisha. Yeah. She's great, and I mean, he's just like making assumptions. That's all that is. He's like triggered and frustrated and making assumptions.
Yeah.
Slade told me that too.
I love my team. I would never throw my team under the bus. If anything, I was like, don't nominate my team. I was like all about the other team. I was like, nominate one of those people. I was like, if nothing else, nominate both of those people from their team. I was like, because they're the ones winning, and there's a better chance of getting them out. I was not shy because you guys met me. I'm not shy. I'm like, it's just the way that it's just and I told him, I was like, it's better for your team. And I was like, to be honest, it's better for my team too. But I was like, your team has 3 people. It's better for your team, even more so than it's better for my team. But he was like not as concerned about his whole team, which is sad. But yeah.
It is. It's sad. I mean, there's like people who aren't as active, who don't want to be here as much, but it's like all up to whoever is HOH and how they want to play. You know, that's not my style. Like I wouldn't just attack one team, and I would try to do something semi-fair. I would try to play more smart and fair, I think, you know.
I agree. I don't think this is smart. I think part of his thought process is like, I'd rather make 5 people mad than 10 people mad, but this is not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's kind of foolish of him to think that.
Like, especially if you know you want Brady to be your target, let's say, then you put up a pawn who is like the pawn is going to stay, right? You put up a pawn that you know will stay and not be mad at you, right? Yeah. Like you try to pawn somebody who isn't going to stay. If you know your pawn is going to stay and your target's going to go home, you don't want to put up a pawn who you don't know won't be furious with you if they stay.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're going to stay.
Polo would probably be his best bet to put up against Michael, I think.
Or Sim. Like somebody who's totally quiet and didn't start playing the game until.
But I could see people like voting Sim out because he's so quiet.
Oh.
Like I see more people keeping Polo.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they like built connections.
Or somebody super nice.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, like you put up Sim then or something so that it's like better chance of his team protected him. You talk to your team to protect him, and then it's just us voting to keep our person, and you're like fine, right? Like that's all. I'll do my best to talk to him. I don't know what to do about the whole Michael. At this point, it's like they're going at each other, and I can't stop that train.
Yeah, of course.
But I can try to at least do the whole reasonable, like one person from each team, like Slade, don't do this to us.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like Macy said, that just seems to trigger him more to want to do it if our team tries to like be defensive of one another.
I talk to him like a lot, so I'll just throw it. I won't do it right now, but I'll just throw it out there like before Monday. Before noms, I'll just be like, this is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That won't be fun. And I'll just be like, it just will make my whole team think it's my fault. Because Michael's already blamed me.
Yeah.
And he won't want to do that.
Yeah, and if like he has such a target for Brady, then maybe put up a pawn who, like I said, whoever is going to stay, let it be somebody that you know isn't going to come back after you.
Yeah.
You don't want
literally. His best bet really is Polo, but I don't want to tell him like.
Because he doesn't want that kind of because he can't put both of them up because whichever one comes back is likely to win a comp and like or win HOH and then he's the target. Like he's not going to do that. So his best bet is definitely putting up somebody who, like Sim, or somebody who isn't shown to be like somebody who can win at like HOH or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is probably why he's targeting the team, because he's probably thinking he doesn't want to target their team. So if they do win HOH and it goes after his team, they're not going to come after him.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm like,
but I'm also
now that we're talking about it and talking out loud, this is what's making sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
People might vote Sim out because he's inactive.
But he's not like
that
he talks to people a little bit. He doesn't talk to me, but
another thing that sucks, and I'll just drop this here low key. Like, I feel when I came into this game, I was super hopeful, not only to play a Big Brother, because I'd played a couple of challenge orgs that were like teams and divided. And so like getting put on teams was really hard for me at first, because I'm like, I don't want to play a Big Brother with teams. But also, like, I wanted to come in with nobody knowing each other. That's what I expected, but you can never be sure, obviously. But so the first like week, I was really like, I haven't heard anybody saying they know anybody. You know, that's really good. And then slowly but surely, boom, boom knows boom, boom knows boom, like person knows person. And there's like all these connections. I truly, literally know nobody here. So when I heard like all those connections, I don't care how good of like a player you are or how nice you are, or how much you try to chat people up, they're going to fall into those old relationships and those familiar faces and those like, you know?
Yeah.
I can't really compete with that.
Like, I didn't know anybody. Like, I just happened to be in that rare, but like we didn't know each other coming in. Like, we both happened to have won the same org, but like we didn't know each other. Clearly, it didn't help him stay here because I still wanted to keep Macy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we didn't know each other, but it was like one of those things where it's like I randomly have done similar things as people in this competition. But yeah, the same. Like, it's better when people don't have those ties that connect them, because you know they're always going to be protecting each other.
Mm-hmm. And there's at least like 2 or 3 people here, maybe 4, that I know for sure have multiple connections. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it was a bummer.
Who else knows each other? I know Becky knew O'Rear. I think Becky knows somebody. I forgot who it was.
I mean, like, I think everybody knew O'Rear, to be honest. Everybody that I talked to. When he was campaigning, that's when it started to like connect, and it's like, oh, because I was like, oh, did you know Slade and O'Rear were close? You know, someone told me that, yeah. And I was like, really?
So much.
Yeah, and that person was like, yeah, and I know Angelica, and then Angelica has played with so and so before. It's like so much I couldn't even keep up, but
I knew Jess, but we didn't work together. And I knew of Slade, but I'd never like played anything with Slade or done anything with Slade, but I'd like seen him before around, but that's it. That's the extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I just hope Michael can hop out of it. I know it's hard if you're like feeling like you're targeted, and it's just not an easy feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like it came from within, which it totally, absolutely did not. I can tell you that personally. I would not do that. But like, it just kind of sucks, you know?
Yeah.
But there's always veto and stuff. But I don't know what to do with the whole how to save our team at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We gotta figure out how to play it.
It's a mess.
I will figure out how to play it. But
all right, guys. Well, I have to put my little boy to bed. He's just crawling into bed with me, so he won't go to sleep if I'm talking.
Oh my god.
Night. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to figure something out, guys.
Sounds good.
We gotta do something. All right, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
He's definitely talked to the ladies.
Yeah, not to like put you on the spot there. I was just curious.
I would not. No, I don't want to. I would not put you up as a renum, regardless, though. So even if it's not Jess, it's not going to be you. Because again, I want Brady out the door, and I want you in the game because I want to work with you. And I think putting putting a red person up next to Brady is just gonna. So it's just like we cannot have this. So, and I think I want you to stay, and I don't want. And if I put you up after the blue team told me all day to put you up, I'm just doing their bidding, and that is absolutely not going to be the tea. We are not doing that. No.
All right.
So
that's
right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Like, I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I'm really glad we talked because I was scared. Like, I didn't realize how on the same page we were. So, like, yeah.
I'm really big about vibes and energy, and in the first call, I could just see by how people kind of were sitting there and carrying themselves. I was like, okay. And then once the glucose started happening, and just when I could see how people spoke, and I was like, okay, I could feel the energy really well. And you're one of you off the bat. And Sean, I honestly felt really good about him too, but he didn't stay, so rip him.
Yeah, that was like my same thing. Like, just talking to Macy versus Arir, it was like based off energy. I feel like
night and day,
I'm more of an energy person than I'd like to admit, I guess.
Yes, I know too. I'm ooh vibes. That's really it. I'm probably gonna eat dinner. Right. I like to keep my calls pretty short and sweet because I hate when people keep me hostage. Same. So I don't want to keep you hostage. So
enjoy your dinner.
But if I hear anything, I'll let you know. But for the most part, tomorrow that's gonna be the 2 noms, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.